Good day, everybody, and welcome to our opening assembly for the grades 10 to 12. And let's begin with a prayer. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Today we're going to be using a prayer from our school's patron, St. Augustine. Breathe in me, O Holy Spirit, that my thoughts may all be holy. Act in me, O Holy Spirit, that my work too may be holy. Draw my heart, O Holy Spirit, that I love but what is holy. Strengthen me, O Holy Spirit, to defend all that is holy. And guard me then, O Holy Spirit, that I always may be holy. Amen. St. Augustine, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Hi there. We are Ms. Devlin Foley and Mr. Braganza, and we are so excited to be your chaplains again this year at St. Augustine. Let's face it, this year is going to look a little bit different, but I'm sure all of you Titans are ready for the interesting year ahead. Staff and students here are ready to welcome you with warm smiles under their masks. I know this because we are a community rooted in the values of respect, integrity, courage, love, and most especially, faith. So what is a chaplain, you might ask? You've seen us around, but you might be still asking. Essentially, we are in charge of faith formation here at St. Augustine. We are a community gathered in faith, which is the Catholic faith. And this faith means a lot to us. So this year, we have some new opportunities to explore what faith is going to look like for us. In the past, this meant retreats, masses, daily prayer, spiritual counseling, and while some of those are still going to be things that we continue, they're going to look a little bit different. Regardless, we are excited to explore faith with you this year and to wish you a special blessing this year and along the way.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to school. I am Mrs. Vanderdolen, principal of this amazing school. This year, you are experiencing school like no other students before you have experienced, and that's okay. We are happy to have you back in the halls of our school. Although there are many new protocols that we all must get used to, please know that the staff of St. Augustine has been working hard to make our school as safe as possible. You are attending a school where the teaching community believes each and every one of you is capable of achieving success. Be proud of our school because we have great students and outstanding teachers who are committed to helping you with all of your successes. Throughout this year, you will be called upon to discover and share with each of us your God-given gift. This gift could be proficiency in one of your many courses we offer at this school. Or you may discover that your gift is to lead people, or be kind or compassionate, or this month's character trait to be courageous. Whatever it is, God calls you to share it with our community. The staff of St. Augustine is committed to helping you. We are all here to help you achieve your goals and prepare you so that you will be ready after high school for work, college, or university. We will walk with you to ensure you do your best so that at the end of your high school journey, you are leaving us with a diploma and a set of Christian values that will help you to be a positive, contributing member of our society. H-E-L-P. 4 letters that mean so much. You must help yourselves so that ultimately you can help others. Each student in our community, in their own way, will need to help. You will need to make sense of the world when sense and reasoning go missing. You will need to help solve problems through innovation and invention. And you will need to help turn indifference into motivated, helpful action. In spite of many challenges this year, we'll continue to work together to help each other to be our best for the world. My advice to you is the first, to surround yourself with people who have dreams, desire, and ambition. They'll help you push for and realize your own. Second, believe in God, believe in the power of Christ's love for each of us. Believe in yourselves, believe in each other. Strive for new experiences and new responsibilities that will promote your wholeness and happiness. Strive for humility to master new tasks and overcome new obstacles. Trust that you can find meaning and answers on the path God has given for you. Trust enough to search and risk. Trust in the loving guidance of God in all you do. I wish you all a successful year, and remember, no Titans walk alone.
Hello everyone, my name is Leo Tucci. I'm the Department Head of Guidance here at St. Augustine, and I work alongside two other guidance counselors, Ms. Arana and Ms. Pelleggi. Let me tell you a little bit of what guidance does here at school. So first off, you need to know that guidance is part of the student services that we offer here at St. Augustine. We work very closely with chaplaincy, the administration, we work with core resource, the teachers, outside agencies, and any board staff that work with students. Students are divided among three guidance counselors by alpha. So if your last name is anywhere between A to G, you're going to be working with Mrs. Arana. If you're H to O, you're going to be with me, Mr. Tucci. And if your last name is from P to Z, you'll be working with Mrs. Pelleggi. The guidance office is located in the front of the school. It's connected to the main office. And that connection is real. And we work very closely with admin. We work very closely on a daily basis to make sure that students are well served here and that they go through high school successfully. That's one of our mandates. Given the circumstances, we are not meeting face-to-face with students and parents, but we still are offering guidance appointments. Guidance appointments will be available by phone or by Google Meet. All students have been emailed a link to book a guidance appointment. So please check your emails, and we'll talk a little bit more about information. This year, given the circumstances, it's going to be really important for students to check for information. How do you do that? First thing in the morning, we have morning announcements here right after our morning prayer. So students need to listen carefully. When they are at school, they need to be listening to morning announcements. We also have a school app where we pump out all our information and morning announcements as well. So it is available on iPhone and on Android systems. So soon it'll be available. For the new updated one is going to be available on the Google Store and the iPhone app, wherever the apps are for the iPhones. Okay. Students need to know this information. There's a lot of information that happens through student services, through the guidance office. Now, what does the guidance office really do for our students? Well, for different students, we're different things. For junior students, we're generally working with students on their timetables and their scheduling, making sure that they're managing through high school, that they're understanding their courses, that they're choosing the right courses, and so on and so forth. When you become a senior in high school, we're a little bit different. So for our grade 12s, for example, we become the caveat of a lot of information with post-secondary, whether you're applying to an Ontario college, or Ontario University, or anywhere out of province. So we do give out a lot of information. We try to, well, given this year, no, but we try to arrange field trips or guest speakers, so students are making the best, most informed choices when it comes to exiting high school. Okay, so how do we get this information out? We told you about the app, we told you about the emails, we told you about the link for the guidance appointments. We're also setting up a Google Classroom for all grade 12 students. All the grade 12s will be invited to this classroom where we'll be posting information about universities, Ontario colleges, and anything pertinent when it comes to the senior year or their graduating year. So students, it's very important that you sign up to that and you receive notifications from that Google Classroom. On that Google Classroom is going to be key dates. Okay, so given the circumstances that we're dealing with right now, we don't have any definitive information about Ontario universities in regards to data collection and how they're going to be looking at marks and all that other stuff. So as soon as we get that information, we're going to be posted on the Google Classroom, and students will have that information. Again, we're going to be giving out, we're going to be trying to do online sessions for appointments where students have a lot of questions, and sometimes they're very anxious about some of these things. So we still are making ourselves available through Google Meet. We're also going to be posting some seminars. So, for example, when you're applying to Ontario universities and colleges, we do run some workshops with students in regards to the application process and the decision-making process. So those will continue. It's going to be virtual, it's going to be recorded, but it'll be available for all students as usual, just changing up the format a little bit. Grade 12s. A lot of universities and colleges are going to be offering virtual tours of their schools. In addition to that, we are highly suggesting that you make some time and you actually go schedule a tour yourself at the university or college. This means that you're going to have to make some time with your parents or your guardians, and you're going to have to be touring the school. The grounds will be available, but maybe the inside of the buildings are going to be off limits. But it's still, go with your parents. At least it gives you an opportunity to see what the university or the college feels like, how the distance from your home, what this campus looks like, and what the surrounding area looks like. Students are going to be, if you're heading out of town or you're planning to be out of town, students are going to be there for the next 4 or 5 years. So you want to make sure that the university or college campus setting is appropriate for you. Given the circumstances, you're going to have to take on some of this information gathering yourself. And one good way is, spend the day with your parents on the university or college campus. Okay. That being said, a lot of information does come out of the school. And this year, the grade 11s are going to have to be doing a little bit more research. The Ontario University Ontario College Fair for this year has been canceled, but nevertheless, information is still out there. So grade 11s, it's extremely important that our grade 11s begin the research for post-secondary in grade 11. Okay? We usually don't promote it that hard, but nevertheless, this year, given the circumstances, grade 11s, you really need to start looking at Ontario colleges and universities, or employment, or anywhere else that you want to be after high school, but really, you have to be diligent, you have to be on top of things, okay? You have to be the main information giver to your parents, okay? We're going to try to get information out to the parent community as well, but parents are going to be really relying on you, given your grade 11 and grade 12 years, to get that information so you guys are making good informed choices. Okay? The guidance office is a busy place, but we're available. Okay? We're not available face to face, but we're still there for you. So we hope that the guidance office will be part of your high school education in your graduating year, whether you're in the middle of your high school or you're just beginning your high school. So again, my name is Leo Tucci, Department Head of Guidance. Come see us, make an appointment. We look forward to it. God bless. Good luck with the school year.
Hi everyone, my name is Maya Chronopoulos and I'm this year's Student Council President.
Hello, my name is Emily Schneider and I'm this year's Vice President.
For those of you who don't know what SAC does, we are here to make your St. Augustine experience the best that it can possibly be. We aim to enhance school spirit and make your school life not just about academics. Getting involved is the best way to meet lifelong friends and make lifelong memories.
Although we cannot do exactly what we've done in the previous years, Maya and I promise to work to our greatest capabilities to give you a year like no others. Throughout our year, we have always had themed weeks regarding different holidays. For example, Christmas week, Halloween, Easter, and Valentine's Day. On these days, certain events will take place that you can get involved in to show your school spirit.
We know that we can't tell you exactly how this year is going to look like, but we would love to hear any suggestions that you may have.
You can always come to Maya and I with suggestions and ideas, and we promise to do our best to give you what you want. As a council, we are here to make your year at St. Augustine the best it can possibly be.
We are here to make you feel like you aren't only part of a community, but also a family. We wish you the best in all of your courses and hope to see you all around school. Bye, everyone.
Welcome, grade 10, 11, and 12 students. My name is Mr. Berlin, and I'm fortunate to be one of the vice principals here at St. Augustine, who has the pleasure of working with the students whose surnames end H to O. I want to invite you back to St. Augustine Catholic High School as you begin your journey as grade 10, 11, and 12 students. The entire staff has worked very, very hard to set up a safe and healthy environment so that learners can learn to maximize their potential. And this begins with our new attendance reporting procedure. So parents have 3 options to report their absence of their son or daughter. The first is the school messenger phone number, which is 1-855-856-7862. The second one is the school messenger website, which is go.schoolmessenger.ca. The third is the messenger app, which you can purchase or you can actually download for free, on the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. These options will allow you to access this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So each student was given a letter at the beginning of the year in their package, so we're outlining all the details in terms of the attendance procedure. I just want to go over a few nuances here. If a student happens to be in cohort A or B, and they must report their absence if they're physically not present in the school for their face-to-face portion or class. The student will be marked absent even if they attend that class online. And the reason for this is because of contact tracing. And also we need to also be aware that the student was physically in the building for if public health has to have contact tracing, or also in case there is a fire drill or some other safety drill, we have to be able to assure that these students are physically in the building. That's why they are in fact marked absent if they're not physically in the building. The other thing is if the student is absent from the face-to-face portion in the morning, but they return home and they go on to their period 2 online class, then the parents should record that as a half-day absence. If the student has to log off their online learning for any reason at all, we ask the parent to please contact the school and give us the reason why. It's very important for us to be aware. The next thing I want to discuss is the student arrival times and punctuality. Very important that students are here for bell to bell, that they are not late. We have staggered times for drop-off. The junior grades are closer to 8 o'clock. The senior grades are closer to 8:15. Once you arrive, if you take religion as your first or second period, so if you take religion or science in your first period, we ask that you go to the north parking lot. If your period 1 class happens to be French, Math, Canadian World Studies, or Business, we ask you to enter through the main entrance. And if your first period class is Art, Tech, or English, we ask you to enter by the south parking lot. Students who arrive late must go directly to their class. They do not go to the office, and their teacher will record them as late. Students who are frequently late will of course be referred to their respective Alpha VP and dealt with accordingly. Students and staff will follow the directional arrows around the building and also following the closest up and down designated stairwells. When a student leaves the class for any reason, for example to go to the washroom, they first must get approval from their teacher. Then the teacher will record the time that they left and the time that they return. Again, this is for contact tracing for public health reasons. And the student should go to the closest washroom, and they should make sure that they do not exceed the maximum capacity of that washroom. The next thing I want to discuss with you is student behavior on school buses. You represent this school, especially when you wear this uniform out in public, such as on the school bus. Your behavior on that bus has to reflect the high standards that we have at this particular school. We ask that you sit at your assigned seat and you will wear your masks at all times, obviously. And any negative behavior, of course, will be referred to your Alpha VP and will be dealt with accordingly. So please remember that riding the bus is always a privilege and not a right. Same with parking. Students must obtain a parking pass from the main office if they intend to park on school property. Vehicles who do not have a valid parking pass could be subjected to being towed or ticketed. So students must always operate their vehicle in a safe manner, especially in and around the school property. If they fail to do so, then parking privileges will be revoked, and also the school can also consequence on top of that. So please use your best judgment. Textbooks. Students who have received their textbooks for the first quadrimester, they should have received it by now. Any student that does not currently have their textbook should contact the teacher, and the teacher should contact the vice principals, and we will make sure that you get your respective textbook that you require. Smoking and vaping. Under the Smoke-Free Ontario Act of 2017, you cannot smoke or vape in any public or private school, indoor space, outdoor grounds, including playgrounds, sports fields, public areas, and within 20 meters of the school grounds. And you could face a fine of $1,000 for the first offense and $5,000 for subsequent offenses. So please remember, please don't vape on school property, anywhere on school property, and you'll save yourself some money, hopefully. Remember, I have a saying that I always say to every high school class that I speak to, and that is to remember to always be in the right place at the right time for the right reasons. That equates to being innocent. If you are in the library on your spare studying for your upcoming exam, then you're in the right place at the right time for the right reasons. Being in the wrong place at the wrong time for the wrong reasons means you're asking for trouble, and trouble will unfortunately find you. So if you find yourself at the mall where you're not supposed to be and something happens, you could then be potentially a witness that's called before to be questioned. So please make sure you're always in the right place at the right time for the right reasons. I want to thank you for your attention, and I want to wish you the best of luck, and I'm looking forward to working with you and supporting you as we continue on through this interesting year. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and a wonderful year. Take care. Thank you.
Good morning, St. Augustine. My name is Mr. Coquetto, and I'm responsible for students whose last names follow in the alphabet from the letters A to G. While it is very strange standing here this morning in the cafeteria for our opening school assembly without any students, I am very happy to be back at St. Augustine with our teachers and helping them to provide you with a more typical style of learning than you experienced last spring. With your continued prayers, scientific advances, as well as the use of masks and social distancing, we shall be back at St. A in classrooms full of students demonstrating academic excellence and in participating in the full range of co-curricular activities that makes St. A such a great school. There are a few expectations that I would like to review with you that are just as important in our new learning environment as in the past. The start of a new school year is always an opportunity for a new beginning and to focus on good habits and learning skills. Now, more than ever, it is critical to develop new skills to stay organized, manage time wisely, focus on the information you need to understand for your course, as well as the tasks that you need to complete. In our current learning environment, academic honesty is an essential expectation. If you have any questions about assignments, or if you are experiencing challenges in completing your work, ask your teacher for help. The teachers at St. Augustine are there to help you, but they are also committed to maintaining the highest standards of academic integrity for all students, and they will be vigilant in ensuring that all work submitted is a true and accurate reflection of the individual student who submitted the work. Success at school is earned through practice, effort, and your God-given talents. St. A has a solid reputation for being a welcoming and accepting school community, where students support one another and respect each other, and follow the example of Jesus by treating others the way they would like to be treated. We shall continue, however, to have zero tolerance for bullying, harassment, or any actions that make a student feel uncomfortable or unwelcome anywhere in our school community. Furthermore, I'd like to take a moment to talk about bystanders. Those students who stand nearby and watch while someone is being physically or emotionally injured, or who spread rumors or gossip about other people, are bystanders. When you stand by as someone who is being hurt and you do not attempt to stop the offense or provide help to the victim, you are participating in an inappropriate behavior, and you will be subject to disciplinary consequences. I would like to remind everyone of the prayer of St. Francis, which calls us to be peacemakers and understand each other. My next topic is health, which is very important these days. We hope everyone stays safe and healthy this year. And in kids being kids, we know that sometimes there are a variety of illnesses and injuries that they experience. So, if you're away from school, it's important for your parents to call us and let us know that you will be away due to an illness or an injury, such as a concussion, so that we can work with your parents and the doctors to provide any assistance that you might need to get better and to get caught up on your work. While there are very few athletic activities going on these days, I strongly encourage you to try new extracurricular activities, such as the mini clubs and councils that we have at St. Augustine. I'd like to point out that when universities determine acceptance and scholarships to different programs, they look at your involvement in school and community activities in addition to your marks. As you know, during the past few years, we have had an increasing number of students participate in the Duke of Ed Award. In fact, just this past summer, a number of our students participated in an online virtual adventure journey. The Duke of Ed is an internationally recognized award that stands out on university applications. To find out about the Duke of Ed and all the other exciting extracurricular activities at St. A, we are in the process of restarting our school announcement ad and the announcement monitor outside the main office. So I encourage you to start looking at these sites to see how you can get involved and make a positive contribution to our school spirit. Finally, if you have any questions or concerns, please send me a message on the school K-12 email. All the best for a safe and successful school year.
Welcome, Titans. Welcome grade 10, 11s, and 12s back to another year at St. Augustine. A special welcome to those of you whose surnames start with the letter P up to the letter Z, because you are on my alpha. That means I'm your vice principal. I want to talk to you a little bit about something that's really important this year, and it's about health and safety. For those of you who've been joining us in the building, you've seen that there are many, many new processes in the building. Directional arrows set up, certain exits have been blocked off, other entrances have been blocked off. When you do come in the building, there are hand sanitizing stations at every door. When you come into a classroom, there's a hand sanitizing station. There's also a cleaner for your teacher to use for the surfaces in the classroom. And all of us, including us, are wearing our masks when we're around each other. Sometimes you might see some of us wearing a big plastic shield as well, if we're out and about and we're around a lot of people. Masks are mandatory for all of us in the building, so we want to make sure that you adhere to that. All of this is for health and safety, because that becomes our first priority for everyone. So when you're at school, if you're not feeling well, you really should be staying home or going home, because let's face it, it's really difficult to learn when you're not feeling your best. But if something happens at school and you're feeling symptoms, particularly if you feel as though there's symptoms of COVID-19, then the first thing you need to do is to let your teacher know. Your teacher will discreetly call one of the administrators to the classroom, and we'll take it from there. If you really are ill, then we'll call your parent, we'll have them come and pick you up, and you'll have a safe place to wait until they arrive. If you are feeling symptoms of COVID, so you know, we'll be letting your parents know that you'll need to go for a COVID test, and then let the school know how you're doing. This is for the health and safety, not just of you, but for everyone in the building. And on that note, we all have a responsibility for health and safety. It's not just those of us who put the signs up and fill the hand sanitizers. Everybody has a part to play. Your teachers will play a big part. You'll notice in the classrooms that if you're not in the building, our classrooms look a little different. We have no more than 15 students in every classroom. We're practicing physical distancing. And when you leave to go to the washroom, your teacher is going to write down the time you leave and the time you return. And again, there's lots of safety protocol happening in the classroom. You as students have a big part to play. And what we ask you to do when you come in the morning is to maintain physical distancing. So you might see some of us administrators and some teachers in the hallways just reminding you to try to stay 6 feet apart. We might be letting you in your classroom so that you don't congregate in the hallways. When you leave your class at the end of the day, you're going to go out a very specific exit, and your teacher will let you out one at a time to, again, avoid crowding in the hallways. Your parents will play a big part in health and safety as well. Every day before you come to school, your parents are to have you complete the online COVID screening, just like we do, all the staff in the school, every day. And again, those of you who are in the building will notice there are signs at every door that talk about the symptoms of COVID-19, that if you have them, not to enter the building and to let an adult know. On to other health and safety. We will be having fire, school, and evacuation drills, but they're going to look a little different this year. First of all, there aren't as many of us in the building at the same time, and we have to avoid all of us leaving at once. Those instructions will be coming shortly to your teachers, and we're going to walk you through what that process looks like. If you have any updated medical forms, or if you're someone who needs an EpiPen, please make sure that the front office, the main office, has those forms and has the EpiPens. Or if there's any other medical issue that we need to know about, please let us know. It's all in the name of keeping you safe while you're here. On a different note, I want to talk just briefly about our St. Augustine uniform. I'm always so proud of the Titans who come to school every day dressed in full uniform. And the uniform, you know, we have really for safety so we can identify who you are. But we really have it because we're so proud to be members of the St. Augustine community. So we remind you that every single day that you're here, you're in full uniform from top to toe. We will be having Spirit Wear Titan Tuesdays once a month, and those will be announced, as Mr. Tucci said, either through the school website or shortly through our app. So please wait for Titan Tuesday to wear your Spirit Wear. And talking about Spirit, our President's Council that I know you're all aware about, and that's a group of presidents of all the councils in the school who gather together, have already reached out, and I know that some of you have remained active over the summer, which is wonderful. That really helps to keep our community close together. Now, typically at the beginning of the year, we would have a council fair in our foyer, where everyone would have the chance to set up a table, talk about their councils, and gather new members. Well, of course, this year that's going to look different as well. Right now, as I'm making this video, our councils are creating their own promotional videos, and we're going to be sending it out in one big YouTube link, so you have a chance to see what's available at St. Augustine, what the councils have been up to, and think about becoming more involved. There may be lots of things that you won't get to do this year, but there's an awful lot that you can get to do. So please take advantage of those councils. And if you have any questions, you can always contact me in the main office or Miss Arana in the guidance office. We encourage you to get involved. And on my last note, it's about technology. All of us, including myself, the other administrators and teachers, we're all using a lot more technology than we ever have before. And I want to remind you about online behavior, and that's for all of us. The behavior that we exhibit online must adhere to the values of our school and the values of our faith. We need to practice being digital disciples. Whatever we say online, we should be willing to say to someone face to face. Any inappropriate online behavior will be dealt with by your alpha level VP. But we know, St. Augustine, that that's not what you're about. We know that you're proud to be a Titan. So we expect nothing more from you than amazing behavior. I want to leave you with one little saying, and this is if you happen to be in my office last year or if you find your way in there this year, it's a sign I have up on my wall. And I've taken this sign with me everywhere I've gone, and it's something that I religiously read every morning to myself. It's something I try to live by, and I'd like to share it with you as my closing comment. And it's called Today. I will be happy. I will walk boldly. I will be brave. I will choose wisely. I will be grateful. I will speak confidently. I will be thoughtful. I will love fully, and I will be the best version of me. Thank you so much, Titans, and I look forward to an amazing year.